Hello and welcome to a TAD Talk with ADDA. I'm Caroline Maguire and I am a PCC and a Master's in Education, and I am in Concord, Massachusetts right now. And I'd like to spend a little time today talking about some of the dilemmas that come up socially for ADD folks, like reading between the lines, walking in people's shoes, and pausing. Many times my clients struggle with remembering to pause and think about what they're saying in an email or a text, or even how they're communicating with other people. This is like a larger topic. We could spend all day talking about this. So I wanted to give you something that would be very portable that you could use at any age. You can use this with a 60-year-old, you can use this as a 50-year-old, you can use this as a 10-year-old, in order to shift the way you communicate and some of the common dilemmas that come up. I know some of the foibles and things that come up for my clients and for myself are, trouble anticipating what people need and want. Sometimes getting feedback that your tone or the way you said something or wrote something is sort of a little abrupt or blunt, and sort of email conversations and other things going wrong. I have a client who is actually struggling with this. She was on some performance plan at work, and she was really struggling to get her emails responded to and do some other things. And she emailed some funny joke chains to a bunch of people, and her boss was really furious, and it felt like out of left field to her. But the reason he was upset was because he was saying, you're not getting your regular work done. Why are you sending me email chains? And she felt really terrible. And what I want to do is give you some tips that will help to end that feeling, because it's not a great feeling. Because really, whenever you are communicating with anyone via text or email or however you're communicating, you're really communicating with essentially an audience. And in everything we do, when we enter a room, when we're on the phone, wherever we are, we're really communicating with different audiences. And one of the things that's sometimes hard is to pause and think about who is your audience and who are you communicating with, and really what are you trying to say and what should you say, and maybe sometimes to not send that email or text or say what you're thinking in your head. I am not delusional. I am an ADDer myself. Pausing is really hard at many times. So that may be the first thing that you work on, is just pausing before you hit send or before you, hit that text. But I really do think that I have a few steps that are simple, and they can help you think about who your audience is, because part of this is really useful and portable. So I'm going to share a slide, and the slide is all about who is your audience. So what information, when you think about an audience, what information do you need to give? So again, not want to give, need to give. What information are you regularly conveying? And how will it be received? So some of this is stepping into the shoes of the folks that you're communicating with for just 2 or 3 seconds and thinking about who they are and what they want. Something I do with a lot of clients is we come up with sort of a character inventory of the people that they're interfacing with a lot. Bosses, it could be, other women, friends, people you get into trouble with, right? Where you get this kind of feedback. And we kind of make a list of their hot buttons, their pet peeves, who they are, who are they politically, who are they in terms of things that rub them the wrong way, things they're interested and passionate about. If you're interfacing with a boss and they have just told you that they love the new computer system and they do not want to hear any more feedback about it, it's something that you want to consider in terms of tailoring your communications. So this is part of what we're trying to think about today. And it really goes back, move this, to context. So this is a graphic that I use with everybody that I work with, and it's all about you thinking about how messages will be received, and then who is the audience member that you're talking to. And we can do everything from think about that person to even like tape their face in the bubble. Context is something that's super hard to think about sometimes because we're moving so fast and our brains are moving so fast. But if you think about it, context is situation specific. It's about environment, mood, circumstances, what's going on. So let's say you don't have a lot of time and you are communicating with different people. You could think about their context, what is going on for them. Did you just see them in the hallway and they're in a terrible mood? Is something going on for them personally? You know that their grandmother is in the hospital. Then you want to think about these situations where you kind of do the opposite of the social norm or what is expected. So I have this little graphic of who here because we want to think about who the person is. Are they really busy? Here's some context to think about. Are they sad? Have they received bad news? I know that this is a hard one for some people, but it's something you could work on, which is what's their body language and what does it tell you? Are they standing up? Are they sitting down? Are they moving away from you? Are their eyes down? Are they looking straight at you when you're communicating face to face? And then what are these sort of opposites? You're happy, but they've received bad news. You're feeling lucky, but they're not. And then how do you adjust to meet that audience? Because they are someone you want to have good communication with. And you want to make sure you think about the audience. This is just the steps for who your audience. Really simple, portable. You can do it anytime, any place. I recommend to all my clients that you pause and think. And if this is hard in in-person communication, I actually rehearse with them. You can rehearse with your spouse, with someone that you know, to sort of realize that a lot of this pausing feels awkward to you, but it actually takes 2 beats and it saves you a lot of drama. So I often rehearse with clients and I'll say, let's pause and think about the context. They feel super uncomfortable until we do it and they realize it's not even noticeable to the other person that you're in communication with. Also, we have a gift as ADDers where we can think many thoughts in our heads while we're communicating many times. The other step is to, before you say something or you email or you text, think about how will this be received. Step into the other person's shoes and really think about how will this be received. In order to do this, a really good step is to picture the person receiving it so that as they are getting this communication, what do you know about them? That's that sort of character inventory. Read the message aloud is the 4th step. This is a really great thing that can save you so much angst. And hear the tone, right? A client of mine sent an email and it said something like, are you ever going to open this up? Or are you ever going to do such and such? And it was just one little word, ever, that made the whole tone of the email seem kind of aggressive. And then the last thing is think about what did I say and what did I mean? And that is a really good way to maybe even shape the email a little bit. And then what is my tone? The idea behind this is not to make you super paranoid or go over every conversation 8 million times in your head causing rumination. We all make mistakes and none of us are perfect. But the idea really is to give you something you can do with other people that will allow you to sort of end some of these kerfuffles. And that is to think about who is your audience. That's today's TAD Talk about 4 little words to solve all social dilemmas. Who is my audience? I'm Caroline Maguire, and it's been great being with you today. You can find me at CarolineMaguireAuthor.com, and you can tweet at Coach Caroline CM. And I have a free mini course going on right now to teach you how to coach your children through any social dilemma and thrive. Thank you so much, and I really appreciate your attention.